The overall talent of players in the Premier League seems to be growing year on year, with even bottom half teams picking up European super talents in recent years. In today's pod, myself and JJ, the Bull, got a middle name now,
That's it, yes.
are going to be going through our favourite, not best player from each Premier League team. JJ, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, James.
Wonderful stuff. I wanted to have a whimsical chat, and that's what this is going to be. We're going to talk about our favourite players, coming slightly from the gut, with a bit of a mixture of the fact that I then looked at my list and realised I was just going for midfielders a lot of the time. So I've tried to kind of mix it up somewhat.
Well, that's good.
And we're also going to mix up the list of clubs as well. So Wolves fans, watch all of it. Liverpool fans, watch all of it. Okay, thank you. Newcastle, I've gone for... So is yours in the same list? Have you got yours in a list?
Mine's in a separate secret list.
Okay.
Do you want to see my list?
No. I don't.
I can surprise you, or I can...
Surprise works for me, I think.
Because I know roughly what some of yours are, but some of them I won't know. And then we get a bit of spontaneity, which I think is great.
Which is great, yeah.
For media.
Yeah, which is incredible, because it was incredible to have that spontaneity, because this is completely scripted. Like, to that word I just said, there. Completely scripted.
I've seen that written down.
Newcastle United. We're going to kick off. Favourite players. Did you have any broad criteria when feeling out your favourite players?
It's a lot of just how I feel about... So I think it's important to look at who the players you enjoy watching the most.
Yep.
Not necessarily the best ones, like we said, but like they can still be the best. But the ones who you enjoy watching for specific reasons, or this is worth watching on the TV, or you want to go and see them play live. Ones who maybe don't get appreciated as much as they should be in the past. Ones who do lots of hard work that doesn't get seen. You know, the quiet midfielders who do the bits off the ball.
The endearing characters.
Yeah, and the characters, yeah.
Okay.
So like sort of vaguely cult figures.
Okay, I've got mine here. Bruno Guimaraes. I think I said it right.
Guimaraes.
Fuck's sake. 35 games, 2 goals, 8 assists. Does the signing of Nico Gonzalez, quick ripple for you, at Manchester City mean that Bruno Guimaraes stays at Newcastle? Guardiola was reportedly pushing for City to sign Bruno, I'm just going to go with Bruno now, from Newcastle in December, but went on to sign Nico, I'm just going to go Nico, from Porto instead in January. With Arsenal and Liverpool looking at Zubimendi, is
Martin.
the likelihood... Yes. That was scripted. Is the likelihood of Bruno Guimaraes? I've heard 8 different ways.
I know, I might be wrong as well.
Yeah. How come you're the?
I've been in a rabbit hole of Portuguese pronunciation, so I say I say like Fernandes now.
Are you doing Fernandes?
Yeah, because that's how he says it. So I think that's nice.
Right. I wonder if is there like a tipping point of if enough people start saying these names correctly, then I go. It's one of those where I'm going to go. Well, I'm going to have to step towards it now.
I mean, I'm just a pioneer. I'll do whatever I want.
The problem I have is that if I hear 3 different ways of doing it, I can't remember which one was the right one. Anyway, do you think that the reason I love him is he is all action. He is quite sexy, I would say, as a footballer in every way. In terms of, give me the ball, let me do something. Yeah, I'm going to crunch you. Yeah, I'm going to scream. Yeah, I'm going to dye my hair. Yeah, I'm going to chew chewing gum. But I do think he's actually crucial. The sort of ripple effect of Gonzalez going to Man City, even though Bruno was kind of linked there, and Arsenal and Liverpool looking for maybe a slightly different profile of player. What's great here is, I think, in terms of keeping Isak, I think you've got to keep him too.
Yeah, well, I think Guimaraes is probably the... I'll go early, I might be wrong. The best like footballer outside of the traditional top 4 or top 6. Maybe Newcastle are in there now, but he is just like one of the best footballers in the entire league.
Yeah,
probably the best midfielder. Rodri obviously comes in there. Now De Bruyne is a little bit older and doesn't have the power. Maybe he's there, but we're talking about profiles. He kind of can do anything you want him to. He can be the creator, the destroyer, the link player. You can profile people as what they can definitely do. He can do all of those things for sure. I love watching him play. He's also got the character about him. Is that the leader? Like, he'll get stuck in and
happy to be a leader, comfortable being a leader. Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's huge. And I think the reason I picked him as well, I was looking and do you know what I like Jacob Murphy. I like his smile. I like that he's happy to be there. I think that's great. There's a lot of good players there, but I think if I was a Newcastle United fan, I would be obsessed with him.
Yeah, so I think there's every chance he could still end up at Man City. The problem is obviously the price of what he would cost. And there's no real players that you can get that exist that I've seen that can replace what he does straight away. My player is not Gumarães. It is the obvious other one, which is Alexander Isak, who I think might actually be the best footballer outside of the top. There's a few of those.
Love that.
But he is he's one of the players that is worth watching football for. The kind of that you'd watch on a Saturday morning when you're a kid and be like, oh, I want to play like that. I want to be Isak at the park. You know. There's that goal that he assisted, is it last season, where he runs past about 7 players.
Everton one, yeah.
Kind of messy-ish, you know, without wanting to immediately go to that.
Are you saying he's... What are you trying to say here?
No, no.
Are you saying he's... Are you saying he's messy?
I like the way everything he does. Like his first touch is. I think you can judge a player by the first touch. Very obvious thing to say, but you can tell the elite ones they don't even think about it. You can ping anything at them at any speed, and it's not even dead. It just goes exactly where he wants it to go.
Yeah.
And he uses that to confuse defenders. He can use his first touch from a really difficult pass to confuse defenders and find a way to get past them and then score. And his numbers this season are also phenomenal. He can dribble past you. No one wants to play against him 1v1. Yeah. I love watching him.
Yeah, fair point. I love the thing about him I loved was the Liverpool wallop goal. I feel like those goals are coming back. The ability to I think that sort of area just outside the penalty box, people sort of were afraid to kind of shoot there. But with the style of play of certain teams, and we're going to do another pod talking about the Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year nominees if Mohamed Salah didn't exist. And there's one player in particular who's had a lot of sort of joy from that kind of area, and it's kind of because of the sort of style of football now at this moment in time. So Isak scoring that goal as well is nice. I hope they both stay because I think it's good to have them as a player.
Makes the league more fun when you've got that, yeah.
Because they can beat anyone. They can beat absolutely anyone. Bournemouth. I've gone for a Dean Huijsen. Now, I nearly went with Christie. Nearly. Who was yours?
Ryan Christie.
Is it?
Well, actually, I could split between Ryan Christie and Lewis Cook for slightly similar and slightly different reasons.
Right. The reason I kind of had to go back to Dean Huijsen is the fact that he's quite exposed out there. Like, Kirkes is always further up the pitch, and that's kind of seen as a strength because, you know, people are excited about Bournemouth and the way they play, and you want him, you know, he's a great asset and all of those things. But that puts a lot of pressure on Huijsen. And so for him to come in, to even be at Bournemouth, you're sort of like, pretty quickly you're feeling, and this is not a dig, but it's just like, you're feeling sort of surprised that he's there, which means that you can really, really enjoy him. And I think he's still got all the lovely qualities, despite, I think he's thickening out.
He's dead young, right?
Yeah, so like, he looked quite wiry initially, and you sort of think, oh, you look a bit childlike. But he's got a bit of bite about him as well. I just think he's got everything.
Was it Jose Mourinho who said he's one of the best? He'll be one of the best young defenders.
Really?
Yeah, I think he said that. I'm sure it's Mourinho. It's a really bad anecdote if I haven't finished it off properly. But he's another one of those. I like one of the other things I was thinking about with the players that I like watching is people who are hyped as wonder kids, especially on games like Football Manager or something like that, and then seeing them in real life and how they actually become good or not.
Yeah,
I love that. And so Huijsen's one of these like super highly rated. Oh yeah, for a long time. So like if the Football Manager's got him, the scouts around the world also know about him like well before, you know. So they'll have talked to him for a long time, and he's playing very well.
So doesn't that add to the bizarre nature that he is at Bournemouth?
But the thing is, he could end up playing at I was about to say Man United.
Arsenal.
You go elsewhere. Yeah, Arsenal. Well, that's an example, right? Arsenal.
Yeah.
But there's the thing with young players is that when you play for someone like Arsenal, what Arsenal should be buying now is someone who's 23, 24, about to hit the peak for his 5 years, then they can ship him off when he's still almost at his peak and get some more money out of him.
To Fulham.
Yeah, Man City, the same thing. You know, all the best teams want these players, but it's very rare that you're good enough, especially as a centre back, to be able to play at that level. I mean, I can't think of many young centre backs who've done that.
Yeah. You also need the minutes to
learn.
So
you have to go to a club who's at a good level, and at Bournemouth you've got a good coach who's going to get you better, but also you get minutes to get experience. Yeah.
Ripple for Dean. Yeah, that's right, Dean. Lloyd Kelly's contract expiry has led to him and Dean Huijsen switching places. Lloyd Kelly joins Newcastle for £0 after his Bournemouth contract expired in July. Bournemouth replaced Kelly with Dean Huijsen from Juventus, joining for around 12.5 million, rising to 15 million with add-ons. Juventus then suffered a big injury to Bremer, leading to them signing Lloyd Kelly from Newcastle in the January window on an initial loan, becoming permanent for 20 million in the summer. Kelly did get to play Champions League football, but they were knocked out. So you get to tick that off your box, Lloyd Kelly. So there are positives there, but they do seem to have switched here. He's got like the £60 million release clause. Will he still be there in August?
I think
you'd be surprised.
I think you'd probably give him another year at Bournemouth, just let him keep developing.
What do you think?
It's sort of like buying them on loan. You just leave them at the smaller club, and Bournemouth still is. I'm not trying to be offensive to any Bournemouth fans, but you know how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you just don't go too early. If you need someone straight away and you can see the future for it, then maybe it's the kind of thing Liverpool are probably looking at as a long-term Van Dijk replacement, something like that.
Right? Yeah, really good shout.
Because you'll have like your transfer windows. You don't. If you're running a club well, you're not only going to have this summer or January coming up. You've got 5 years planned, and you've got your lists and your targets, and so it's going to be in most teams. I think.
Richard Hughes be picking up the phone when
That's
he
right.
love it on speed dial. You went for Christie, was it? Or
Yeah, Ryan Christie.
Come on,
So
go with Christie. Go.
I'll go Christie because I've seen him play at Aberdeen. He was very good at Aberdeen back in the day. A young, exciting, creative playmaker. As that sort of number 10 position has changed and what you need to do with it and how important it is that you can lead a press, Christie can still do that. But what you see him do now is be like the ball winner and the really clever. I don't know if you describe him as a pivot, but he makes things link. So he just moves to exactly where you are to connect constant triangles, like solving a science puzzle all the time. But also, I mean, in the Bournemouth team, Lewis Cook's made more tackles than any player in that team. Ryan Christie's third, Tyler Adams is second, but that's what he does. He's like a tackling machine. Yeah. So I mean, you can see where they're trying to break up plays. Midfield, you press them high, you start have a mid block, you let them come into your midfield, you win the ball there, you've got room to attack and counter and go into. And then Christie can help link the dots later up the pitch. And to have made that move, to a spot where you can do it is interesting. It's similar to what Ross Barkley did at Luton. Do you remember when he went from being a 10 to even deeper? And it just suited him perfectly because I think when you're younger, you've got a bit more, it's not the word confidence, maybe robust arrogance and bravery and confidence in your ability. And you are a tiny bit faster, maybe your reactions even. So when you play higher up the pitch when you're younger, that makes sense. But as you get older, maybe you go a bit deeper and you can see how much the game is different there and how the things should work. So you can, you learn how to use your paintbrush when you're younger, but then you learn how to create the painting when you're older.
Wow, that's a bar. That's your first bar.
God, I'm good
from JJ Ball. Everton. Do you know what I wanted to chuck in? Who have you gone for Everton?
I've forgotten to say his first name. Njai.
You gone for Njai?
Ilan Njai. Yeah.
Njai was on the list. Kind of injured, so I kept him out of it. I do want to just say, I think so. I'm not sure Everton fans are really convinced on him. I don't think anyone is. I just think there's something with this lad. I really, maybe not to an outrageous level, but to be becoming a loved player for Everton. I do think Lindstrom will, and I almost don't want to go even as far as will come good, but I think will move the needle to being a very, very solid player because I like some of the elements that he has, like the quality on the ball, the vision, the stamina that he has. I just think David Moyes needs time to help it all fit and thrive.
I completely understand. Lindstrom feels like he's not only always been he feels like he's always been at Everton and always will be.
Yeah,
there's lots of players that Everton sort of have like that, and he's one of them.
Yeah, and I think he's got a real role to play in the next 18 months. I did end up going with James Garner because I just think it's hilarious that he's not still at Man United.
It is interesting though, right? Because
that's not the reason why I picked him. I think he's a really, really good footballer.
Yeah.
And better than people give him credit for. So I wanted to give him the sort of dues. Would he be starting for Man United?
Well, this is the thing, right? If he'd been at Man United and hadn't left, then no, because he wouldn't have got the minutes, I don't think. But now he might be getting in the team, but he might not have developed in the way you need to. You need to go and maybe struggle a different kind of team.
Yeah,
to get
he was at Forest, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah. I saw him play the other day. I can't remember what game it was, Garner, but he was playing these amazing long through passes early in behind, which is exactly what you kind of want. But the difference there with him at Everton than he is at Man United is he has the space to do it. It's different to what you could do at United.
And he's not got to be outrageously press proof. Whereas Man United kind of want to play a different way.
A really decent midfielder for Everton. I can see why you'd like him. Yeah.
And Jai, so videos. Speaking of getting a bit of heat on videos, we did so do you have this where you kind of put out something there, you think, yeah, okay, we're going to go with that, and then you get sort of hammered for it, and then you're kind of keeping an eye on, like, going, oh, I'd love that to come back around, because this is the thing with football. This is why we love the game, is that there's so much variability. Anything and your trajectory can change. And Jai, we did a video where we looked at the next 3 transfer windows, I think, for different teams, and sort of building a team. And we put Jai in Arsenal's team, and like Arsenal fans were sort of, it was like, how unbecoming, how dare you put a Sheffield United player in an Arsenal team? Are you crazy? And so we sort of quietly ever since have been sort of rooting for him to, like, go and just become a superstar. And he's been their best player.
I think I might have put him in sensible we do a thing called sensible transfers at my work, and maybe I think I put in Jai for maybe an Arsenal.
Oh, really?
I can't remember. My theory being that, like, so I mean,
the point is he's talented.
Yeah, if you look at, like, statistics, not based it all on that. Like, I like watching players who do things that are dribbly. I like people who do things and play like they're at the park. And Jai has the second most attempted take-ons of any player in the entire league, but he does things. He does little improvised pieces, like just on the spot, where you can get past a man, which opens. If you can get past, like, a line of defense, that's the biggest thing you can possibly do. And because he's always around the final third, that's what you want. And my theory with Arsenal, for example, maybe similar to you, is that they play against teams who are set in blocks because they're really slow with their passing. So how do you get past a defender? If there's no space to run into, you can't use it with speed. How are you going to dribble past 2 players? You've got to be really, really good. And Jai can sort of do that. But he spots a little clever through pass. I think he's good at linking with little triangles in the final third as well. I think he's really technically good, but maybe doesn't have, like, the bit that you need to be like an Everton player. And that's the kind of thing. Like, maybe doesn't have, like, I haven't watched him to notice if this is true or not, but, like, because you tend to think, like, technical players like that don't have that the Lindströmish-ness about them, like up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's maybe what you want. But I don't know if I've watched him closely enough to know if he's got that or not.
I guess it's dependent on role. I think he works pretty hard. I guess the bulk of his responsibilities have to be obviously kind of going forward, whereas Lindstrom is a bit more like,
he does. He makes the most attacking the most tackles in the attacking third of any Everton player.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there again, that's how you figure things out. West Ham.
Oh, yes.
I reckon we'll have the same one here. Surely.
Oh, I'm quite contrarian.
Mentions. Huh?
I'm quite contrarian.
Oh, right, yeah, true. Notable mention for me, Jared Bowen. I just think he's fantastic. I think he's a really underrated finisher. I think what I love about him is he seems like some players, like, I love his scurry. Feel like he's playing in fast forward, and I think in a game you need that injection a lot of the time. But also he has really good output whilst he's doing it. So I think he's great. But my favourite player this year, just for the sort of gentle remontada of it from a creative standpoint, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 28 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 7 clean sheets. He wasn't playing in goal for those ones. He's playing in defence. But whenever I see West Ham, who have been somewhat turgid, he's been the creative spark down the right-hand side, like bursting along. Like it's. I
had a theory about that. I had a theory. I can't tell whether teams were, because at Man United, you were given the ball and he'd be the least productive of any player in that team, really, which sounds super harsh, but that was kind of true. Like
they didn't even go that side. They would just stay on the left.
Well, that's it. So, like, I wondered whether opposition managers were like, we'll go man to man on everyone except Wan-Bissaka, let him have the ball because he's not going to hurt you, and when he gives the ball away, that's when we snap and that's when we break, and we'll have a player free in theory.
Yeah.
So you can maybe set up your defence that way. That sounds stupid, and I don't think teams actually do that, but there might be something in it.
Do you know what the other thing I would say was that, if you close your eyes and imagine him getting the ball, that pass then forwards from the right-hand side, there was rarely ever anyone kind of, I mean, sometimes Rasmus Højlund, but not enough, really. There wasn't always someone kind of making that run there for you. So he ends up going back. and it ends up going back over to the left-hand side because you're trying to get the ball to Garnacho or Rashford or Bruno Fernandes in the half space on that side as well. But yeah, I think that was the thing that's absolutely been put to him, is that you're not, you're not creating for the team. But I think, was it the Arsenal game actually recently? He was just like,
I think he's been good recently.
he did this fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's for the goal for Bowen actually. He did this great little stop and go dribble that you kind of, I think you've been waiting for with him a little bit, as someone who was initially a winger and then became a fullback. So bloody good on you, mate.
That's
He
exactly
seems
what I was
like a
going
lad.
to say. Because like he's known for tackling every person ever. You can't go past him. But like he was a winger, and he's got the skills.
Yeah.
The classic like grew up playing in one of those like South London cages type ball skills. He's a good player.
He's a good player. Yeah, I agree. And I know, I think it's great. It's great for him. I think it's probably somewhat of a marker of West Ham, in the sense that I think if West Ham are playing better, are more creative, then he is standing out less. But I'm really chuffed for Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
So he was my pick.
Do you know he's got the second most touches of any West Ham player this season? Because that's one of the things when my theory came out, is like, is that why teams are letting them have the ball? Is that why?
Right.
Because he's producing with it. I don't know if it is that.
Yeah.
Because the other left back, who's the other left back for Palmieri, right? So he's
it'd be Emerson or Cresswell sometimes.
Yeah, let's do it per 90. Let's find out if that's still the same. Way more than Palmieri per 90, like 10 more touches. Oh no, five.
Beware of giving Wan-Bissaka the ball, because he's looking.
He's got you now.
He's got you now. Who was your pick?
I put Wan-Bissaka down initially, and then I saw you done it, so I changed to Mohamed Kudus, who's amazing.
Yeah.
There's not really much point going into why. Fine. He's just great.
Okay. Man City. So the way I built my list, I went, I'll go through and 3-second feel, I like to call it. What is there a name that goes, yeah, it's him for me? That's the player that I've really enjoyed this year. Man City had to sort of come back to. And because, it's been, by their standards, woeful at times. But then actually it was quite easy for me. And although he's only new, I think in terms of a bit of a theory that I've got quite quickly from him. And actually often when I've read something, it's in my mind a lot. But I read this really fantastic article by Jake Entwistle. I don't know if you know Jake. But he writes for Scouted, which is another amazing
I know him. He's
publication and website. And he was talking about these sort of basically, he's talking more about power forwards, but actually he was talking about the amount of runs in behind forwards are having to do now. And the first name I then thought of, he ended up to kind of talk about Gyökeres, but this is something I've absolutely seen with Marmoush, that I think he's really great for Man City in terms of them developing and changing and evolving, because I love that he'll come short, but he'll also go in behind, and he's happy to do that as well. Like often players are like, well, no, this is the one run I do, and I'll do it when you're ready to play it to me. Do you know what I mean?
At the right times as well. That's the crucial bit.
But this article's kind of what it says is that the sort of best, most effective strikers for the whole of the game, but for themselves as well, are often players that will make that run and make that run and make that run and make that run time and time again, and be an elite athlete as well as an elite footballer. And I feel like he has that. I think in this article, his top speed, I think, in the Bundesliga, his was the highest, and then Seško was second, I think. And so he can be frightening, and the sort of the balance between him and Haaland, I think, is going to be really interesting to see how that evolves. And very quickly, I watched the Chelsea game. I was like, ooh, I could see like second strikers or secondary strikers like coming back.
Yeah.
And obviously, look, again, we talk about this a lot though with the sort of football meta, and there's new positions here and there all the time. But I can see that, because I don't see him as a player who's playing as like one of your normal 10s who's sort of always starting in that half space, going like a De Bruyne or whatever.
Well, you want players now that break the opposition press, right? Because everyone's like man to man. So if you have a player who breaks in behind, and you have that subtle changeover where someone's got to swap who's looking after you, that could really get a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And like you said about Bowen, there's something about being fast forward with Marmoush sometimes. In fact, he's really clever, and he sort of slows down time when you need to, and then he speeds it up really quickly. That manipulation is really useful. I really like watching him as well.
And and I think I like his starting point. Like like I said, a lot of those players will kind of start in that 10-ish area, right? Those half spaces.
Yeah.
Whereas he will start on the back line and then drop into it. But also, you know that he might be spinning that way as well. So if you're a back four, you're sort of thinking, hang on, like, and you've got a double pivot in front of you. Even if you've got that in front of you, you're sort of thinking, well, hang on, is he yours or is he mine? Because he might just go run into the channel. And especially with a team like Man City, with Guardiola playing as, yes, he's a left back, but he ends up high and wide. That again pins that back line and makes it just really, really awkward when it's done well. Problem is, I think elsewhere, the physicality is not there. But he's my favourite player to watch for Man City at the moment.
Yeah, and exactly what you're saying about looking for whatever meta tactics or the great new thing that may or may not actually be new. Like with Marmoush, what you get is or with Guardiola, if you don't have to have like one set like tactic. It's that you can change. The players can be able to choose what they want to do in game as long as they know what the sort of rules are for each part of what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's got myself in a bit of a spin, but I think that's kind of what you get with him. I saw Marmoush score a penalty against Aberdeen once.
Did you?
Yeah, he did.
Wow. What a player.
Eintracht, what a guy.
Do you remember what corner? What corner did he go to?
I don't know. But like, I also immediately went with Marmoush, and then I was like, well, I don't want to do the same as you. So I just then went, well, I like watching De Bruyne. And I was just trying to think, like, is he looks like he's sort of on the way out, but he has, well, guess which player? Guess which player in the Premier League has the highest shot creating actions per 90 of any player?
Kevin, no.
Is it
Kevin De Bruyne?
It's Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah.
He's plucked it out of thin air.
How did you get it?
Yeah.
Obviously, like your numbers are slightly skewed.
Is he hurting by just not having what he needs around him anymore?
I think that injury took it out of him. So like, was it his hamstring? It was a muscle injury that.
But if
serious.
If Rodri was playing, do you know what I mean? If all the other aspects were kind of there, do you think we wouldn't be having this conversation because he's still got the magic, even if he's waning a little bit? Because it feels more glaring to me.
I think he's lost a bit of the explosivity, which naturally comes with aging. And that injury. So it's taken him a long time, I think, to recover from the injury and get back to what he can do. He's still creating chances, so he's still got that in him. But then if you need to be, like, think of him at his best, he's so dynamic and super physical, and then you can get up and down. If you lose a tiny bit of that, it makes you just a tiny bit less of a player, but he's still one of the best that they have.
I think it's in big games. It's the big games I'm like, nah.
But then I still want him there because he's the one that knows how to run it.
Yeah. But I saw him against Brentford and I was like, wow, you're clearly still the best player on this pitch.
That's what I mean.
Absolute mile.
That's why I love watching him. Like,
yeah. I think it would be, and I love, my favourite thing in football is a pass that just reveals itself. When they play a pass and you go, what's he doing? Oh.
You saw that. How do you see that?
Everything to me.
Me too.
And I think that would be a real loss once he says goodbye. Brentford. Have we got the same one?
No.
Good. It's always good to check. I think it's okay to have the same one if we do. I've gone obvious here. But do you know what's ringing in my ear is my mate. I thought he was orgasming when he said this sentence. He went, Damsgaard's just so good. He said it to me the other week. And I was sort of like, what? Like, I knew he was good and I knew he was having a great season, but he was like, it's absurd. And so I just, again, I do love a comeback. I love hard-earned glory. And 10 assists. And actually, I think, I'd have to go and find the stat, and if anyone can find it, can they put it in the comments? Because we've got comments now on the podcast, and put forward your favourite players as well. But the pass before the pass, he's a demon when it comes to that. He's fantastic, and it's great. It's great to see him sort of come to fruition, and Brentford kind of get it right again. It's amazing, really. He's had an absolutely huge season. But you should see he'll get forgotten about for, say, like team of the season. But should be knocking about it.
Really, though?
Yeah, I think so. 10 assists. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, I know. But what's his expected assist? I'll have a look at that. But I'm not even sure. So yeah, I've seen that Damsgaard's been talked about a lot. I haven't noticed it personally, so I'll look into it and see. And I know that I remember when I think he came into the Denmark team when Christian Eriksen had that really not good episode.
Yeah.
And then he was like a star for the Denmark team going forward in the rest of that tournament. And I thought I'd see more of him going forward, especially when he went to Brentford and was doing all bits. But yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, it didn't seem to get in the team an awful lot until now. And now it's really working.
Yeah, he's what he does quite well is he doesn't pot over. He's like he works over to things, gets it and solves it. But also, I think because they've got great runners in Visser and Mbuemo and Sharda at times as well, those guys running away from him kind of gives him a bit more space to operate in, even if it is quite.
That
deep.
makes total sense.
And then he's happy and willing to play the pass as much as just wanting to keep driving with the ball.
Yeah.
So that means that he gets it, solves it, and then someone else gets the assist.
And I think last season they were missing all those players through injury, all the ones who make the runs, right? So I think when I watched a bit more of Brentford last season, I didn't see what he was doing then.
Yeah, they're a
that's
lot
my
more...
excuse.
Yeah, that's fine. What have we got here? I'm trying to think. Goals and assists. Assist 10, expected assisted goals. Ready? 6.8.
It's good.
Come on.
Really good.
Up yours, Bull. Who was your favourite?
I was just trying to think of someone who wasn't Brian Mbeumo.
Very nice way to talk to a guest.
That's fine.
It's because I'm comfortable with you, Jack.
That's exactly. Isn't that a nice way to be? You've changed since the Premier League. I went Vissa in the end because he's one of those players where you're like, how do you? I don't know how to describe this. So when you see Johan Vissa's on the team sheet, you're like, nah, is it going to be that good? And then he plays like, wow, this guy's so quick.
Yeah.
Like, and he also is deceptively quick, but also he's quick. His first touch is very good, but when he runs 1v1 with defenders, which he seems to get quite a lot, you always know he's going to do something with it. Yeah. And that's hard. 'Cause a lot of players get 1v1 and you're like, oh God, I don't know what to do now. Once I reach the box, I'll just give me some hand. But there's a couple of goals where he actually finishes in the top corner from a bit. But I think you can take defenders with him. They're not sure what he's going to do. He can go both sides. He can use both feet. He scores all kinds of goals.
Do you know what? That was exactly what I was about to say. But no, he's got. But I think that the more maybe a more concise, a better way of saying it is, he has every kind of finish. I think he can go round you.
That's a better way of doing it.
He'll score a tap in. He'll score a clever header. He'll hit a rocket if he needs to. He'll pass it into the corner.
Headers,
he'll chip it over
goals.
you. Yeah. I think that the thing that. There's a bit of heightism, I think, that there'll be with Visser that mean that he'll never get the move that maybe elements of his talent deserve. But that's probably why Brentford have.
He feels like a Man United transfer when Ferguson was there. He feels like one of those. A player you're like, really? And you sign him like, oh, right, he's great.
Yeah. But also, I guess now in 2025, it's like, it's a very much a Brentford money ball. That doesn't look like you're a centre forward. You look like you're a tricky right winger. And actually, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Like, having those players that don't look right is that's fine as long as they play right.
So no one trusts the Brentford players can be that good, actually, but they are.
Yeah, but they are. Yeah, exactly. Aston Villa. I'll let you go first. I'll keep going first.
It's not the same as you. So it's brand new. So
this doesn't need to be the same
might be.
as AJ.
Well, it'd be quicker if we did. He's only played, I think, 6 games, and he's only had 3 starts. So this is maybe not quite right.
Okay.
But I really think Marco Asensio is like amazing. I remember at Real Madrid, I thought he was phenomenal. Didn't watch him at all at PSG. Was surprised to see he didn't really play that much. Maybe not because they had all the stars. But I think if he has that team built around him now, that is everything, because he paints all the pictures and his paintbrush is super good. Amazing first touch, always in space. If you watch Asensio, always in space. Doesn't matter if they put a man on him, always free. And he's always there for the bounce pass. Yeah,
I think he's got like, he has really quick, easy relationships with other players. Like the Rashford thing, you've seen it straight away. And at its most like primal, it's like, I'm not the quickest, but I'm really good on the ball. You're happy to run, and he is happy to run because he knows he's going to have someone to play to, but also that he might get the ball as well with Asensio. And
it's timing as well, you know. Like one of the things you don't think about a lot with footballers is that everyone knows when, like, what run to make. They all learn it, they get taught it, some of them naturally know it. But players like Asensio have this sense of timing where, again, they can manipulate the speed of the game, but also when to arrive at exactly the right position because they think the ball might go there because they can sort of already see it.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. But then once you've got it, like, have that, just outrageous technique, ability to finish. And he looks great as well, doesn't he?
And it's something new with Villa as well. Maybe that's why I think it's my favourite, because it's just something new, makes him seem more exciting to me all of a sudden.
But yeah, there's a stardust about him, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think that which is a nice addition to
which
Villa.
is well deserved for them.
Yeah, I wondered. I wondered. I initially said something along the lines of like it's a bit Coutinho-y, but then the more I sat with it, alongside Rashford.
Initially, you mean when he first joined?
When it's sort of they've signed Rashford and they've signed Asensio. My initial feeling was that, and then I sat with it for a bit longer, and I was like, no, actually, I think these two could really link up quite nicely, and I think Villa. This is dangerous to say. Literally before, I think they're playing in a few hours as we're recording this. I think Villa could do really well in the Champions League this year.
I thought that too.
Yeah, because I think they can hurt teams.
Can we cut this out after it's been released?
Yeah, obviously. Goes without saying. But I think what they've got here in that January transfer window is they can start one way, end another way, and the quality doesn't really drop, and it feels very, very effective. The players you've brought in are physically capable, but have something to prove and experience as well in the Champions League, and I think that's a really exciting thing to have as well. And it's just another addition. My favourite, I've gone with Morgan Rogers because
that's an obvious one. Yeah, he's so good.
It is obvious. Yeah, I think I love watching him, and he's so clever, and I think we're seeing this more and more. I think it's something I'm kind of zoning in on, these kind of players that are just like super complete. And it's like, not, your thing is passing, your thing is dribbling. There's these guys now that he's like a target man and can play the pass. And when it's tight, he does this like thing.
It's
and
a
then
very
drives.
modern number 10, right? Yeah. So it's like an all-rounder rather than just the playmaker. And they can do all the
stuff.
He's
chunky too, like big lad as well. I quite like that.
And the thing with Rodgers is that sort of almost what you were saying there is you don't know what to expect of him yet. You don't know what he's capable of because he just does things that you're like, oh, that's really... something comes out of him every single time that I didn't know he was going to do, and I really like that in a player.
Yeah. And to sort of stand still in the middle there is nice. Like, I guess with Asensio coming in and playing, he's kind of drifting over to the right. But if you look at his heat map, he's still picking up the ball often in those kind of central areas, which then leads to, I guess, a bit more freedom for Asensio to go into
it's like a mini diamond, right? Because then he comes off the right, but then maybe Ramsey's playing the other side, and they form like the diamond with the striker, and then you've got width from one of the fullbacks either side, something like that.
Garcia.
So useful, right? If Asensio drops out and in dialogues with and what talks to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If Asensio drops, whatever. So Asensio drops in, leaves a space. Rodgers and Ramsey can make the central runs in behind. You've got Watkins who can also give you width or drop in and move all around, and then you've got someone else. Like it's quite it'd be hard to defend against, I think.
Yeah, true. And also, you're right. If Asensio kind of wants to go play false nine for a bit, it didn't really work at PSG, but he could pop up there. Same with and Rashford as well, like stretching it if he's on instead. If you want to do that, same with Marlon. I just think had an absolute coming of age season. Obviously had been at Man City, but to sort of really there's a good few players that were at Man City maybe should have held on to. But again, it's the same thing, but they need to develop, don't they?
They need time.
Crystal Palace. I'm going really boring here. I could have picked someone else. Munoz, I think, maybe deserved the shout. Mateta, great personality. Quickly on the tackle. Thoughts on the Mateta tackle?
It was a bad tackle.
Yeah, I'm. Do you think
he should be in jail?
Do you think he should be in jail?
No. I mean, if on the street, yes. I don't know why the rules are slightly different.
That's a really good point. That can't be happening on the street.
No, it's obviously very bad. I'm really, really grateful he didn't fully smash his head. It was awful. I don't know how. It's just what is the guy doing?
But then his weird one is he kind of got the ball. But do it a different way.
Nah, you can't be doing that. It's like,
yeah. I don't know. I do think it looks crazy ugly. It is crazy ugly. It deserves the sending off. But it is a contact sport. On occasion, sadly,
but
these things
it's a
might
contact
happen.
sport. But it's not like.
But he's not trying to take his head off, is he?
I don't think he's trying to. No, I think there's a sort of like, I don't know what the guy's thinking. I can't speak for him.
It shouldn't be in the repertoire.
No, it's like some people they say, "Oh, he wasn't like that," but there's a little bit in them, and
Right.
some people do like they put in like a horrible tackle in someone. Like, "Oh, I would never normally do that," but you still did.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't like people who are super aggressive. Like you see them at five-a-side
Yeah,
in competition. You don't want to play against them. Some nutter wants to barge you into the sides. Like why? What is why?
Yeah. Fair.
Oh, he's nice off the pitch. I don't care.
I've gone for my boy Eze. I will always go for my boy Eze. This is a PR pitch for Crystal Palace to hopefully sort of get some huge amounts of money. Not because I want him to leave Crystal Palace, because I'd like the sell-on that QPR will get if he goes for 60 odd million. But at the age of 26, JJ, do you think that window is closing for Eze? Do you think anyone would go for him this summer? Or do you think he should just thrive at Palace and allow that team to blossom into something super exciting?
I mean, I don't know whether the window's closing
Tread
for him.
carefully here, JJ.
Yeah,
this is my guy.
I know. I love watching Eze. I thought he could have been a possible Manchester City, like one of the roaming eights a while ago. Maybe that'd be an option for him. He could also play off the left. He was at his best when he was playing last season with Mikel Arteta zipping around him, and obviously Mateta was really in high form. I think a lot of that was down to Mikel Arteta and the dialogue they had together. Should he go somewhere else? Like, I don't know where he goes in the Premier League.
It's hard, isn't it?
If you can get an offer abroad, I think go and live abroad. Go and live in Spain.
Yeah, continue the journey
where you'd be amazing. Go to Sevilla or something like that.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be fun. I do keep I sort of banging this drum. I'm sort of I'm not sure it's good for his career, but he would be great at Man United as one of those two. If you're going to play the Samaram style, he would be really, really good though.
I thought you liked him.
I know. Actually, do you know what? The more I sit with it, I think Palace are like a rung.
Okay, Eze would actually be quite good in that left attacking role at Man United. That would actually work.
Exactly.
Now you said it, I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, Man United, that's another conversation. They're just so far off it, aren't they? It's wild, isn't it? We'll get to it.
Yeah.
So I've gone for Eze. Who'd you go for?
Eze.
I've gone for Eze as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Eze, we love you. Yeah. And Palace fans, I'm not trying to get you to sell all your assets. I just want the money for QPR because the accounts came out in the last week and it wouldn't do us any harm. Tottenham. Right, I sat with this for a while, and I put this on Twitter, and we got a great response, which is amazing. And there were, you put your hand up if it's your favourite player. There was a lot of shouts for Jed Spence. There was a lot of shouts for Archie Gray.
I love Archie Gray.
There were lots of shouts for Bergvall, who I'm somewhat obsessed with. Ah, right. But I ended up going for someone else. So let's hear yours. Bergvall, why?
Really young, plays like he's much older. It reminds me a tiny bit of what Luka Modric does. Insane first touch, lovely movement, sense of time. I think he'll be a really smart player. He's to be doing what he's doing so young is interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes he kind of runs down alleyways, but he's trying it. He's trying he's trying to affect the game.
Yeah,
and you're right. That first touch is insane. But to have a first touch that is almost a dribble out of something.
Yeah, I think
is incredible. yeah, I can't do that either. And yeah, I get little Frankie De Jong vibes from him quite often in terms of that ability to dribbling. Maybe his sort of gait as well. He's a bit like that. And yeah, he's 18. Mad. I want to talk about Archie Gray and fanboy over him more, but I can't because Bergvall's there in the same team. And Bergvall's just, I think he's crazy good. I went for James Maddison because when Tottenham at their best, I think he's just having fun. And I like him. I like that he sees passes. I like that he's got a bit of personality about him. He's a bit cheeky with it. I think if he was a player for a rival, I'd hate him. But I really enjoy him, and I really enjoy him as a footballer and the different sort of areas of the pitch he's allowed to go, and when they're at their best, that he does go. Are you for or against the player and pundits back and forth over social media that we've been seeing with James Maddison and Roy Keane? Are you even aware of this?
Am I allowed to say I don't care?
I thought that might be the answer. Let's move on. Wolves. This one was obvious for me. I was sort of struggling to go elsewhere. I was trying to go find some sort of hipster one, but I was like, nah, it's Matheus Cunha, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. The hipster one's Ait Nouri, who is also as valid.
Yes, true.
And I love
because
Ait
of his
Nouri.
socks. Because of his socks.
Yes.
Matheus Cunha, 15 goals, 4 assists. Will anyone pay the £60 million release clause set in his new contract in the summer? Would he struggle in an Arsenal side where he doesn't have the same freedom? And I did read a couple of stories about him. People saying the sort of the temper of him on the pitch is he a wee bit erratic at times, and is that something that would put people off?
Nah, I think you want to control the aggression. Like, aggression is really important in football as long as it's controlled. Cunha is...
He stole someone's glasses though, JJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
he should be in jail.
He stole someone's sight.
He should be in jail for that.
Yeah.
That's
We were having a go at
terrible.
Liam Roberts.
Yeah.
He stole someone's eyes, in a way.
Yes, I guess so. Cunha... what do I say? I mean...
What do you think will happen to him? So everyone
Cunha,
knows about
I
the
would say Cunha is probably the best player outside of the... That's a callback.
It's called recall. It's a sort of comedic rule that JJ's employed there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's obvious as well.
Yes.
Ait Nouri is a left wing back for any top team in Europe, though. So I think he'll be gone soon.
Wow. Punchy. Liverpool. Right. I sort of I've sort of gone. I've thrown people off the scent a little bit, I think, with this one, because I do glorify and enjoy and speak incredibly highly of regularly Szoboszlai or Szoboszlai or Sabazlai or Szoboszlai. But I didn't go for him.
Dominic.
Yeah, or Dom. I've gone for Trent, which is people might think is a bit random, but when I was thinking about what do I love, bit of recall here as well. And it's those passes that you're like, okay, we can dribble and there could be interplay, but what if I just put it there, like with this like mad little curve on it, or like those gorgeous little, or not little, long diagonal passes or cutting through, to be able to just do it with a kick, is mesmerising to me. And I think if we lose Trent to La Liga, which may well be the case, I'd be sad.
I think it'd be great for him. I think it cements him as, if he goes to Real Madrid, it will cement him as being one of the best footballers of his English generation.
Do you think he'll get the same, like, defensive protection? Do you think he'll be okay? I guess, do you need Valverde there, which is a great option, by the way?
Yeah, so what I think will happen at Real Madrid is they'll probably end up getting a super attacking left wing back, left full back, because what they've done for years and years and years is had Carvajal, who's 35-ish now, is he? Maybe getting on a bit. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But, and also Vasquez, who's also getting older. So but they provide you all the width on the right, because otherwise it's Valverde runs in midfield, but it's not really what they do now, because you have to have the balance, and Rodrigo's there and he plays more inside. And so you have to make sure you keep your width and your depth, but your width comes from there. But when Alexander-Arnold comes into the team, I think he'll probably move, so I don't think he'll play high and wide on the right. I don't think that would be what you do with him. You get the crosses into the box with the other two, but they don't think they really attack the ball like that kind of crosses. They probably want through balls, which you'd probably be better off in the half spaces.
Yep.
So if you move him there, you're still missing your wide right. So you'd have to, if you can keep Alexander-Arnold like right-sided, but let him move in sometimes, you probably need width from the left, because then you'd have Vinny Jr. and Mbappe maybe attacking to the middle. Maybe I've not thought this out enough.
No, I think I get it. I think, let's say he's sort of, I think it's similar to some of the positions he picks up with Liverpool, where, like you say, kind of in terms of that one ball, to have Vinny Jr. willing to make that run, Mbappe willing to make that run. And also, I think generally with good players, if you know that guy can see your pass, you'll make that run. Going back to De Bruyne and Haaland will make that run because he knows, if I just get there, the ball will come.
That's right. The ball turns over in Real Madrid's defensive third. Straight away, they've got a chance.
Go. Yeah, exactly. And also, I think higher up the pitch in the final third, in line with the 18-yard box, If you imagine Trent just outside of that, which has become when I chatted with Thomas Frank a while back, and it was something that we've been in Kai, my producer, we've been talking about a lot because De Bruyne to that back post, Trippier was doing it as well. And Trent can do that ball brilliantly as well. And I just imagine Trent there with just like a little perfect cross. And the reason Frank likes it there is because it's closer to the goal. It gives the defender less time to sort of deal with it as opposed to being nice and wide. And Bellingham at that back post, when he makes those deeper runs, is something that you've actually seen with Salah and Curtis Jones a lot of the time. Or Szoboszlai or McAllister, like those deep runs. I could see Bellingham and Trent like linking up really nicely there as well. I just worry about him defensively when you've got so much kind of talent otherwise. But
I think you've got so much of the ball in La Liga that you don't need to worry about that quite so much. And I think most of the time the right back was high up the pitch anyway for Real Madrid. Well, it has been for ages. Champions League, you're going to have the same problems, but I think that's when you probably shift Valverde over a bit more to help cover, and then you get the same effect.
Who's your favourite Liverpool player?
I mean Salah obviously, but I've really enjoyed Szoboszlai this season.
Yeah.
I think you've sold me an Alexander-Arnold now, so I might just go with you.
But Szoboszlai, there's as I say, check out my channel. There's lots of videos me talk about Szoboszlai being brilliant, and people going just because he's not got the numbers that he's not, and he's actually starting to get the numbers, isn't he? But I just think he offers so much. Brighton. Who are you gone for?
Well, I think Baleba has been really he's obviously an amazing player. There's one little trick he did in the middle of the pitch where he sort of juggles the ball over someone's head back and forward. That was me like, I'm in now.
You got me.
I'm fully in.
Captured my heart.
I always hear people rave about players and they're like, are they going to be that good? And then you can just tell. Sometimes players you can tell within 2 seconds, like, all right, yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I really like him. Brighton have a lot. I mean, Mitoma maybe like.
Yeah, Mitoma. A lot of grace.
But it seems too obvious. I want to offer some value.
I like
Baleba.
Yeah. No, I think he's. We're going to talk about him for Young Player of the Year in a wee bit. Sorry, I'm with a Scottish person, and my mum's Scottish, and when I'm around Scottish people, I say the word "we" a lot. So that's why I'm saying "we." It's not patronising.
I think it's fine.
Okay. That guy Weelbs is my pick. As you all know, I love Danny Welbeck. I think he's completely underrated. I think that backboard that he provides to Brighton with all those other runners around him allows those other players like João Pedro to thrive and get assists and goals. I think he's crucial to their system, and I think he plays for most teams other than Man City. I think he gets games everywhere. Another one, should have stayed at United this whole career. Should still be there.
I agree.
Oh, he scores against them. Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes.
There we go.
Now, I've had a bit of sort of change of heart with Bruno because poor bloke's working his nuts off and he's still getting like pelters. Roy Keane's had a go at him, saying he's not doing enough. I think Stephen Warnock had a go at him as well, saying that he's not doing enough off the ball. I just could not disagree more. And I think for all the kind of petulance and frustration that you as a viewer can feel sometimes with him, in this team, the way they're playing, the way they're struggling, that his grit to continue and the stamina that he has, I just think he's become it's all turned around for me. I really, really rate him. I think it's incredible that he's like had to go through these last few years with Man United. Like it's just like player by player, they've all just been woeful, and he's just kind of there on his own. And I think the amount of times with the games I've watched where he does something, and it's like if the other pieces are where they should be, where they need to be at the time where they need to be there, then the whole team would be working so much better. I think he's really, I think he's been hard done by at the moment.
I think I have a controversial take on Bruno Fernandes.
That's fine.
I take everything you say and I agree. I think he's obviously a very fantastic technical player, and this will sound stupid, but I think sometimes the best players in a team don't make the team better. And you might see this at five-a-side more often than not. The best player on the team will be the one on the losing team because they're doing everything. They're doing everything all of a sudden. But when you reduce their input and what they're actually doing on the ball, they're not helping everyone else be better. I think Fernandes was amazing, especially under Solskjaer because of the way they played in transition, where he's the focus point. He can ping the ball wherever he wants. They're playing in transition. They're running into space. That works perfectly. When you're trying to play what he's doing now, I think he naturally will end up dropping deeper and being one of the two centre midfielders, which he's kind of doing already. Then you've got that option to play that, and he looks like the leader, the captain, doing all the noisy stuff on the pitch. So he's running around doing things. I don't like when he pretends to be injured, which is every 7 minutes or so, to try and win free kicks. I think that is just, I don't like that of anyone who's meant to lead the players.
Yeah, there's a lack of stoicism, I think. But that's maybe a cultural thing.
It's a bit football manish of me, but it does annoy me. Like the captain shouldn't be doing pretend rolling around, showing the referee your football boot. Because look.
Right. I mean, like Messi would just get walloped time and again. He just get up.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He'll roll around sometimes to get someone, like, I don't mind it. So this is a different thing. Maybe the context is needed. If Messi gets walloped down the corner flag and then rolls around loads of times, he knows the player's going to get sent off. That's fine. That's not weaselly. But if you're in the middle of the pitch in an innocuous thing and you go up for a header and the person bumps into you and you go down holding your shoulder, like, come on.
Yeah.
So there's that. So, like, I sort of see why Fernandes is like one of he's clearly the best player they've got. He is clearly the best player. But and all he can win games on his own. I think I might side slightly more towards the Roy Keane part of it than...
Interesting.
It's really
I get
weird.
It. I hear the take. I hear it, totally. I feel like, especially, I think him higher up, I don't like him there really anymore. I think I like him in that too. But when he then is that too, he needs people to kind of be on his same wavelength a little bit more. Like Rasmus Højlund, for example, there are moments where Fernandes will play that pass, like a bit again, like we were talking before, but Højlund's not kind of gone already.
Or he has gone earlier and they haven't played the pass. I've been watching loads of Rasmus Højlund recently.
Have you?
Yeah.
So he is making a run.
He makes loads of runs that he doesn't get rewarded with. Højlund naturally drifts to the left, I've noticed, and then he's in the wrong position. I think there's a lot of positioning and movement they can work on him with to get him better. I still think there's a player there.
I do. I agree. I totally agree.
But like to finish off my Fernandes thing, and again, this might sound a bit silly, but when he's the best player on the team, that's when he's the best player. If you put him on a team with, I know this may not make sense, but if you put him in like that Portugal team, he's not the best player there, and I don't think he even looks that useful for them when he plays for Portugal. So like in any like tournament I've seen when he's been at his best, or whenever I've seen them play, even when I've watched like random friendlies or something like that, or as they're now known, what's that tournament called?
The Nations League.
Nations League, yeah. So that's the thing. So he clearly still is a good player, but when you withdraw all the things he's best at, which is just launching the ball, making things happen, doing that constantly because you want to try and keep the ball, you don't get the best out of him, and therefore the team, he's not good at the other. Is not as good at the other stuff. So you might even just not having him there be better as a team, but you also wouldn't score as many like late winners and stuff. It's a really difficult thing to try and like.
I think, do you know what? It feels risky, and manager after manager, they've gone. They've sort of needed to rely on the last minute winners because they've never got off the ground properly as a team. It feels like, whereas maybe you're right. Like if you take him out and you kind of go, right, come on, lads. Like someone else needs to kind of.
I mean, in transition, he's amazing.
You need to work together as a team better.
Why we play with? Why we put him in? Like if we put him in Arsenal, Liverpool, who would he, like? Where would he go?
Arsenal, Liverpool.
Is that a silly thing to do?
No. I guess the weird thing. The thing with Portugal, right, is he defers to the team. At Man United, the team defers to him a lot of the time. So I think sometimes there's a stunting that's going on.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, there's a stunting that's going on, a ripple effect, if you will, sort of a deadening ripple effect to the rest of the team, which I think that's a really fair point. I just think he's on his own out there.
Well, this is the other thing as well. But he can he can carry them, and like in the last few games, I've been like, I'm liking this guy more than I have done in the past.
I just appreciate his desire to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think I'm starting to like him more than I had done in the past as well. Because, like I said, there's some stuff I don't like about it, but I've got that weird theory that I would happily be proven wrong with. I think that's there. My player I wrote down off the sort of the back of what we're talking about here. I don't think Højlund is it, and I think he's. Really not maybe going to make it at Man United, but I like watching him play because I like seeing how how it's going almost. I can see what he needs to be doing and where he needs to be and not doing it. And I'm trying to see how they get dialogue with him. Like, is it his fault? Is it Man United's fault? I just done a video about this actually for The Athletic.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm just trying to, it's only a short thing. But just trying to sort of work out where the differences are and how you would coach that, what to do with him. Because like he has fewer touches than almost any other player in the Premier League. I think maybe the fewest or something of any striker. But some players are similar. Like Vardy never has touches, but gets loads of shots away because he doesn't mind not being on the ball. Højlund's so desperate to prove what he wants, that he's capable and can do it, that he starts dropping in at the wrong times, makes runs at the wrong times. Other people don't play passes in behind at the times than they should do.
Yep.
And so it all adds into this sort of mix of like real confusion over what to do. And it's not that I like watching him struggle. I like watching him develop, and I find that interesting.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I've jumped. What's the phrase I'm trying to find it? He's a horse of mine. I'm hoping he. What am I trying to say here? I'm backing him.
Yeah.
I've tried to back him because I think profile-wise, he's a really great fit for Amorim. I would say to that as well. One thing I always notice is that, and I don't know. I think I don't know this, but I get the feeling that he needs to be more alpha, like in the sense of his personality within that group that go, when I make that fucking run, fucking play it. Because there's moments, I swear to God, every time I see Garnacho, maybe again, this is a different thing where Garnacho is more, is more of a selfish player. But I think if Garnacho's playing with Ronaldo, forget the age of Ronaldo, but Ronaldo makes the exact same runs, he plays the pass.
You earn that with talent, don't you? And like proving you can do it. And I have this like weird pop psychology theory that the other players don't pass to him on purpose.
What, you think they do or don't?
I think they don't pass to Højlund because they don't. I don't think he's either in the right place or they think he's not going to do what they want him to do with the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I think subliminally they don't believe in him. But I would like to see. I want him facing goal far more. And I think if those two players in that what does he always play 4-3 3-4-3, those two sort of half-space players, right? If he's, let's say Eze, we'll talk about that. Say he's got kind of Eze with him. Those two players that love playing in those spaces, are good in those spaces, can affect the game in those spaces. They've still not really figured out who those two players are. And when talking about dialogue and things like that, that will play a big part in elements of Rasmus Højlund getting on the ball, getting chances, and then himself maybe believing in those runs and also not getting involved as much as he sometimes wants to as well. So I think all of those things don't help. And if you say like Xerxes playing recently, even he sort of defers to Bruno Fernandes at times. He's never. I don't feel like he's really looking for Rasmus Højlund a lot of the time. I think it's both.
Yeah. I think he also so Xerxes takes up a lot of the right half space. So then Højlund has to go to the left. Is another thing. Do you know what would actually work really well? Is Bruno Fernandes playing as the 10, pinging long balls in a transitional team to Højlund running in behind, which is what both of them are best at. So like the old Solskjaer football, that would actually suit those two players really well. I don't know. I'm doing vocal fry like I'm the boy from OpenAI.
Next October, Solskjaer will be back. No,
I feel like I've been too harsh on Bruno Fernandes. I don't want to be calling people out, but
No. Discussion. Ipswich. I've got two options here. I struggled with Ipswich, I'll be honest. Leif Davis, I think defensively needs to switch on a bit more. I think Ipswich defensively are a struggle, but I like his journey. I think there's not an outrageous amount of left backs kind of out there. So I do enjoy him. And the reason I kind of initially said him was because the actual player that's probably my favourite who's part of the squad right now is Enciso. I think he's really fun, exciting, likes to get his shots off. But he's not an out-and-out Ipswich player. But if you said, which player would you like to pick out of that Ipswich squad, I think I generally would like to watch Enciso every week.
Liam Delap.
Okay. Delap, there's something I like.
He's so good.
Really?
Yes.
You're certain?
Yeah.
I think he is good.
He's got the Man City technical control and skills. He's got speed and power, aggressiveness, the alphaness that you're talking about.
He has got the alphaness.
I think Højlund could become a player just like that, but he's not quite there and getting the guidance or whatever around him. I think Delap would also struggle at Man United because everyone will at the moment. But I think
You need that anger, though.
I think he would be. They're too similar, the two players, to work to justify buying Delap. I think he would be exactly what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, it's
but
funny.
he's had the time to learn the Premier League and lower leagues, whereas Højlund's come from Atlanta, where he was playing really well in a transitional kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it doesn't quite suit him. So I think that's what
he's not making the jump, as I like to call it.
Yes.
JJ. Chelsea.
Cole Palmer move on.
Sorry.
Cole Palmer, we move on, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Struggling a little bit at the moment. I do like Romeo Lavia.
Oh,
I must
yes.
be honest.
That's good.
I'm a huge fan of his. I'm intrigued to see how that continues to evolve in terms of the midfield three. But they might all just get sold. It's Chelsea, isn't it?
Palmer is properly one of the best players. Like early in the season, properly amazing. I really think that now that he's slowing down things and playing more what Maresca wants, it's taking a lot of what makes him amazing out of his game.
Oh, really?
And without having runners like Nicholas Jackson, who I also really like watching, in behind, and they've got a few injuries to wingers as well, right? So they're not playing. They're slowing things down more to be more controlled, which is better for long-term success probably. But actually, I'd rather watch Cole Palmer invent stuff on the fly.
Yeah, and affect the game, displace players, take players out of the game. I think that's what we've learned this year, is that like you need those individuals to affect the game. Yeah, he's awesome, isn't he? And he loves jam sandwiches, which I think's great. Fulham jam. Fulham. I've gone for Alex Iwobi because I find him curious. I'm curious about him. He's very much he's definitely good. I have a phrase: he's good, but is he good? And he is good. But he's had a funny career. But I think he's really sort of flown this year. And I think he's so clever on the ball. And yeah, I just really enjoy him. He's played wide. He's played through the middle at times in half spaces. That word dialogue's in my head now. He has nice dialogue with Smith Rowe or any of the other players. Fulham are a really great team to watch. A lot of techie players, and I think he's probably been the best one this year. So I've gone for Iwobi as my favourite. Who've you gone for?
I mean, I thought from the last game I watched against Man United, I thought Sander Berg was really interesting, and I like watching players like that who are very unnoticed during games. But because he was at Sheffield United for so long, and everyone's he's a big money player. I was like, is he good though? But I think he is actually good.
He's bigger than you think.
Yes,
I think.
I like a deceptive player.
Yeah,
I put him. And another thing is like similar to what I said in the past. I think Andreas Pereira, who has the 6th most shot creating actions of any player in the league this season. Another like ex-Man United player. He wouldn't be doing the job for Man United, I don't think, now. But I like that he's found a place at Fulham where he can, even though it's not every single week, I think he can do things.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm intrigued. I wonder if any of those guys will end up sort of bouncing back into some of those squads. I don't think they will. A bit like Welbeck, where like I think you can understand how good he is and how smart he is, but no one would ever. And I think that's actually stupid, but I think it's great for Fulham because I think Fulham can like keep those players.
Yeah, I agree.
Longer than, like you say, like a Højlund, you're like, well, he has to go because that's his trajectory. Whereas like a Pereira is getting the great stats, or Iwobi, whoever that might be. I think there's this feeling like, well, it didn't really work out the first time, so we wouldn't go back. I think that's interesting. Nottingham Forest. I'd forgot to do Nottingham Forest. And then the lads in the Ripple Effect group, they started to chat. I was sort of busy at the time, and they went, he'll say Elliot Anderson. And they were right. Elliot Anderson is my favourite. I love the dynamism of him. I love that he's just sort of just fucking desperate to get on the ball and affect the game. And
really good with it as well. So like last time I think I was on this podcast with you, I think I was like, Elliot Anderson, nah, not yet. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah,
what an idiot.
I think he's a great place to be. Like again, I think there's quite a few sort of I don't want to say the word reject, but sort of left. I mean, he's a weird exception maybe because I think Newcastle kind of wanted to get rid of him. They kind of needed to from a balance sheet perspective. But those kind of guys who are sort of, let's say, again, being careful here, but like dropping away from a Chelsea or a Man United or any of those guys, but they're still like quality players. And Forest are obviously battling out for Champions League. I think he's great because I think that sort of rise in tempo for them, playing it quickly, playing it sort of direct. It's worked with him as well, but he also has a bit of freedom to go and get involved. Big fan of his. Who did you have?
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood, yeah, fair. Great story. I want to talk about Chris Wood in further detail in the Player of the Year one, because I think he's got a shout. Leicester City. Hard. I'll be honest. I was just sort of like, I've gone for Buonanotte, kind of because I wanted to talk about, like, why is he not? I don't really understand why he's not playing when you've got a team that can't score a goal at home. And apparently Ruud van Nistelrooy is not happy with the boots he's wearing. I messaged, I'll find it quickly. I messaged Blue Tinted Glasses, which is a Leicester pod, because I was like, why is he not? What's going on here? And he said this. He said, mate, we don't get what Van Nistelrooy is doing. He's dropped both Buonanotte and Mavididi for Ayew and D. Cordova-Reid, both good pros, to make us more solid defensively, but it's just not working. We're leaking more goals than ever, now struggling even more in attack. In all fairness, Facundo has been pretty lacklustre recently when he's played, but you can't expect him to be tearing it up with the limited minutes he's getting. Steve Cooper got the absolute best out of him, but Van Nistelrooy just doesn't seem to know. They also had a bust-up off pitch recently. Apparently he tore him a new one after a match about the type of boots he was wearing. Don't know if it was the studs or the colour. Can't confirm that. But in terms of a player that I think his focus, he's just got a lot of quality about him, and he wants to score a goal. He wants to get into the box. He wants to take a shot. That's what he's thinking about first.
He's a player who needs minutes. He's one of those that needs to play. Yeah,
he needs to be important, and I feel like they've missed something there. I feel that it's too sensible going for those other guys, and I get it because you're struggling, but I think he's a spark that can offer something, and I just find it weird that he's not playing. So I wanted to talk about him. That's why I put him as my favourite.
That's nice.
Who'd you go for?
Well, it's interesting. You know who scored? Who scored? They do the characteristics of the team.
Right,
it's great. I spotted this the other day. I think it was funny. Leicester's strengths are coming back from losing positions and protecting the lead.
Those are the strengths.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, aren't they sort of ironic?
Yeah. Something's not right.
That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Weaknesses include keeping possession of the ball, finishing scoring chances, defending counterattacks, set pieces, against through ball attacks, and against the players down the wings. So
struggling.
Leicester's weaknesses are having the ball, defending, shooting, scoring, passing, and strengths are.
And do you know a lot of their stats like
coming back?
So Ned was on the pod and we were talking about like how to stay up and what are some of the things that you kind of like need. And he was saying one was as much as that it's the ability to stay in a game, it's the ability to know that we can score a goal and that we can get up the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive problem here with Leicester. Like they've got in terms of like shots created and shots on target, all those metrics, they're around the same as Southampton. So okay, they've got a few more points because they got them earlier on with Steve Cooper, really. But, from an attacking point of view, they're as bad as Southampton. And that needs to be remembered. Sorry, I've hammered Leicester City all year, and I'm so sorry, Leicester fans. The solace you can have is that I bloody love Leicester City because you gave fans around the world hope with what you've done over the last decade. But at the moment, it's not great. Sorry. Arsenal. Who's your fave? Did you say your favourite?
I had Jamie Vardy.
Oh, right,
I said why earlier. He has no touches.
He loves red balls, doesn't he?
He still scores. Yeah. Arsenal, my favourite player is Ethan Nwaneri.
Nice.
I think he's unbelievably good.
Yeah, he's outrageous.
And now I think I've seen enough of him now to know. I've basically watched every game he's played, but like now I sort of can see what player he can become. And let me tell you, it's a very good one.
I agree. Yeah, he's amazing. He's really, really good.
He's almost what's it? So there was a thing where certain players to score or have a certain number of goal contributions before they turned 18, and he's like ahead of some phenomenal players. Another bad anecdote, but basically,
you get the point.
Yeah.
There's loads of great stats on him. There's one about there was certain ones in terms of like shot creating action. He's very close to being, if not, he's got there already. Sort of second on the list when it comes to shot creating actions from carries, and he's got like over 1,000 minutes less than everyone else. So
yeah,
like in terms of affecting the game, he's doing it far more so than all these other lads, and I think
Doing it in that system is so hard because it's so
Yeah.
slow and like rigid. Yeah.
yeah. So you've got to really be, and his gait, like the way he runs, the way that his upper body is just so still.
He's
and
got the
smooth.
balance.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing.
I know what that thing was. So the only 2 players in Premier League history have scored 9 goals before they turned 18. Do you know who they are?
Was it Owen?
Well, Owen's one of them, yeah.
Oh, there's 2 already.
Yeah.
It's got to be Wayne, isn't it?
There's Wayne Rooney,
It was
yeah.
Wayne. Come on, Jimbo.
But Nwaneri is
He's close,
really
isn't
close to doing it well before they did.
And
he's not a striker.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I settled on Declan Rice as my favourite. I feel like he's just a bit on the leash at the moment and a wee bit stunted at Arsenal. And it's funny where like in such a great kind of machine, you're just not really. I was sitting here with Clive Palmer talking about him, and you're kind of, if he stays at Arsenal for like the next decade, and they sort of, and so does Arteta, and they kind of play this way, I feel like we're kind of going to see Declan Rice with a touch of a handbrake on for like his whole career. Not in the sense of like that he's being unfairly done by, but I just know he can be so all action, and we saw that at West Ham a bit more. And so I just sort of missed that a little bit, but I love him. I think he's a great player. He's got a bit of everything, and I think I think I'd like him to take the team a bit more.
I think he's one of the best out of possession players in the world, and that's not really very sexy. And so maybe a lot of the stuff you see is not fully appreciated, but I think he understands exactly what Arteta wants him to do, and some of it's quite not complicated. Well, I guess maybe it is, but to do it so well at such a high level is pretty phenomenal. And I get what you mean by him being on the handbrake, but
I think because in such a dominant team that controls the ball and works up the pitch like they do, he's not needed to be the main man, if you know what I mean, because they're controlling the game that little bit more, and they're not out of they're not out of possession, like you say, as much.
you get in every
Less
single
transition.
other team, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I think he's only going to get better. He's crucial. Who have you got? Oh, you don't, Ranieri. And last but not least, Southampton. Well, slightly, sadly, it is least, isn't it, points wise? Sorry, that was an unfair dig. I've gone feel on this one. Aaron Ramsdale. I just bloody love him. Seems like a good lad. Do you know what I mean? And he's poor bloke. He's just sort of flapping about, like, because it's just like because the centre back can't hold on to the ball, and just gives it away, and it's like, for fuck's sake, poor bloke. What is next for Ramsdale? I know you've been thinking about this a lot.
Relegation.
Aside from relegation,
I don't know. I think he'd probably be at Southampton for a while. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny how he's dropped off.
Championship.
I don't know where he'd go else. I don't know who.
Newcastle have been linked.
I think they're looking for James Trafford, aren't they? And he's really good with the ball. Yeah, I don't know. There's possibly also because he's English, it really helps with your homegrown rules and things like that. Probably get him for a little bit less money because he's in the Championship. I don't know. I like Ramsdale as well. There's mistakes in him, and I think that's a problem with a lot of goalkeepers. I mean, you saw what happened to Karius after the Champions League final, just dropped off the planet.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that bad, is it?
No, I don't think so either. But I think it's a problem, right? So if you're playing an elite club and you go to one that isn't, like, does your stock drop to the point where you're now no longer considered there, or is it because that's the level you're playing at? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's hard to figure that out as well. For a goalkeeper specifically, say like Leicester, if you go like who've been there, and often teams down the bottom, you go who've been their best players. You'll often go with the goalkeeper because they're having to make so many saves.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Ramsdale. Is like, yes, Ramsdale has got a mistake in him, but he's also like he's made some incredible saves this year. One like sticks in my mind is Minter like sort of went round him and looked like he was just about to tap it in, but Ramsdale didn't give up, got up and dove and was able to kind of block it as he was about to tap it in. So like
he was at England level not long ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think.
Is he changed? I don't think he's got any worse.
No, I don't. And so I just I wanted to kind of. We're all rooting for you, Aaron.
Yeah,
and
we are.
It's just a tough season for Southampton, isn't it? I'd love to see him at Newcastle. I think that would work. I guess it depends on if you believe Trafford is the future or Ramsdale is the present.
Well, I'll tell you another player who should be at Newcastle, and it's exactly my favourite player to watch. Tyler Dibbling.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't pick him. He is so So fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, just exists in this little. He lives in his own gravitational field when he plays. He can go past players at will. He can play wide, play through the middle, plays in the half spaces a lot. He's been doing a bit more dropping into this midfield to help out, I think, recently, because he has to. But when you get him going and he produces, I think he's a very good player. And Newcastle could do with a player like that on the right side.
Yeah, I just felt like Ramsdale needed like a pick me up. Right. And he just seems like a good bloke. And we're going to talk about Tyler Dibbling in the second podcast. We're going to be talking about the Player of the Year nominees and the Young Player of the Year nominees, of which Tyler Dibbling is one. Massive thank you to you, JJ.
Thanks.
We will speak to you guys very, very soon. Make sure you follow the podcast, share it, do all the things you need to do. Thank you. Wee wee.